race, 2.8 Hannes, 1 minute 4.1, no penalties. Number 1 Mike, 1 minute 4.76, no penalties. Hannes, you win the round.
And you see Hannes, Hannes is a happy man.
Gets his revenge, Frank, from Rio of last season. And Hannes Ark marches forward to a personal best.
Hannes is sending his teammate home. Go and drink a beer and keep on dreaming.
Well, what a boost for Hannes Ark. In the first round of the series, the Austrian beats the 2007 champion.
Yeah, and here you see, well, still, the helmet is the reference point, and his helmet was still on the red line. So I have no discussion about that point.
Now, Frank, if you were a betting man, would you have gone for Hannes Ark there, or would you have gone for Mike Mangold? The Austrian's getting faster and faster, of course. And the next question is, can Hannes Ark beat the smooth, graceful pilot of Paul Bonham?
We'll see. In a few minutes, we know. Yep, and here it is, quite visible. A little bit faster in the first sector for Mangold, but then Hannes Ark took over. And as you see in the dartfish, between Hannes and Mangold, here in the inner turn, actually, he takes over and he takes the lead. A very spectacular moment.
Hannes Ark absolutely delighted with his results.
I did just a nicer run. I was coming in a little bit faster than before. I had still some reserve in this aircraft. And everything worked out fine. I'm really proud to even beat Mike Mangold.
Here the dartfish of the semi-final between Bonham and Bessignier. And watch what is happening after this turn. You see the acceleration of Bonham's plane simply running away. And although Bessignier follows exactly the same tactical line Bonham does, Bonham is much faster in this lap.
And now Paul Bonham will fly against the surprise of the day, Hannes Ark.
Hannes is flying incredibly well this week, and I'm going to have to be careful. You know, even against Mike, I'd have gone for it, but against Hannes, I've got to be very careful because he's going, as we've just seen, he's going very well.
In the third place fly-off, 2 high-flying penalties for Peter Begenet really left the door wide open for Mike Mangold, the defending champion, to slam shut. It was a disappointing performance from Begenet, who seemed frustrated with his flying throughout most of the day. Mike Mangold now puts the disappointment of being knocked out of the semi-finals by Hannes Ark behind him and focuses on claiming a very important 7-point score to take third position. 3 penalty points, but still enough to take that valuable podium place.
And even without the 2 mistakes of Peter Bessignier, Mangold was faster, as you can clearly see here in the dartfish.
Still for the defending champion, a frustrating day.
I could see where I got it. You know, I knew that it was a little ragged going through there, but yeah, we're all tired. And Peter's run looked pretty ragged too from there. I watched him. So I just, did the best I could with what I got. I'm a little frustrated. Always got to put a little more investment in, I think, the machine. But I don't know. I feel like I'm flying the dickens out of myself. So we'll try and make some adjustments for San Diego.
Good to see former F1 driver Gerhard Berger enjoying all of the action here. So let's take a look at the last 2 pilots left to battle it out for the 9 championship points and the honour of winning round 1 of the Red Bull Air Race World Series here in Abu Dhabi. Hannes Ark goes up against Paul Bonham. No matter what the outcome of today, Hannes Ark will be crowned the hero. Ark on the left, Bonham on the right. Ark will go first, but this young Austrian, who was a rookie just a year ago, finds himself in the final for the first time in his career. He's got everything to go for and nothing to lose. Of course, you see here, he's been getting faster and faster throughout today's competition. Can he get sub 1:04 and put the pressure on Paul Bonham? Well, both teams have technicians and coordinators watching carefully.
Number 28 Hannes cleared into the track, smoke on.
Coming, 28 Hannes.
Drew Searle says smoke on to Hannes Ark and lets him get into his first Red Bull Air Race World Series final. Now, will the fairy tale story come true and will he climb to the top? Again, he comes in with huge speed, 370 kilometers per hour into that first chicane. Got to keep it just right on the edge, a little bit high. but
This
right
is
on the cusp.
definitely high. This is definitely high. There's no doubt about it. And here the pressure falls apart. It's very sad. But you could see it coming at the high start speed and the second part of the first chicane. And it is not good news for Hannes Ark.
What worked in the semi-final hasn't worked in the final. Hannes Ark picking up a 3-second penalty for flying too high, coming into the second lap now. 34.25. Less speed on the second lap, of course, and much better control. Chicane 2 for the last time, heads for the Quattro, right knife edge. Oh, and another penalty. Well, I'm sure he'll be delighted, but we've seen the other pilots also pick up penalties when we thought it was all over, so we won't write Hannes Ark off just yet. Pulls 8.9 Gs on his second and final half cubic. Stops the clock at 1:10.36.
Well, I must say it is quite clear. Second place and 6 penalty points. I mean, I wouldn't complain. And there we go. You saw it coming here. They were already a little bit generous with him because actually it was high on the first, high on the second. So 6 points could have been acceptable. And then in the second round, another point. Yeah, it is quite clear. I would almost say no risk, no fun.
Well, to quote Nikola Ivanov, he's in the lead right now because there's still one performance to be taken, one pilot left to race. And that is Paul Bonhomme. But not clean of penalties for Hannes Ark, really trying to push it as hard as he possibly could to try and put the pressure on the last pilot to race. 1:10.36 is the target time for Paul Bonhomme to take round one of the Red Bull Air Race World Series. Faster and faster. Did enough to take Begenet out with 1:02.95. Can he maintain his unbeaten track record? Ranked second in the championship a year ago, this is the perfect, potentially the perfect start to 2:08. Third here in 2007. There you see the pilot's view of the first start gate and where the timing begins. 1:10.36, he needs to be inside. A little slower than Hannes Ark, coming in at 367 kilometers per hour. Hard right-hander now. 9.2 Gs into the second hairpin. Smooth and graceful like he's demonstrated all week long here in Abu Dhabi. And 3.25 the green. Again, 9.1 Gs pulled, comes out of the half cubic. Horizontal gate then begins second lap. 4.42. The best intermediate time so far now. Surely, Frank, he's just got to coast home and he's taken round one of the tour.
Yeah, I think it's very good to keep very stable, and as you see, it's not the maximum start speed bringing you the best times. Sometimes it's much better to throttle back a very little bit, only a few kilometers.
Paul Bonhomme comes in, he's beaten Hannes Ark and he's taken round one of the Red Bull Air Race World Series in Abu Dhabi. The British pilot takes top spot and 9 points in the first stop of the tour.
Number 28.